and their favorite friends and their favorite frenemies to go and hang out. But here's the concern, because the reports, in case you missed it, I was shocked as to why you missed it. But anyway, just in case you missed it, the report has it, right, that in recent times, jolly old River State, like treasure base of the nation, of all the places, it's not the first time anyway. Now, River State apparently has the highest prevalence of HIV in the country. It has the highest number of people living with HIV. That means they contracted it and they're still here. Now, speaking with in an interview with our correspondent, Mrs. Chigozie said public sensitization campaigns and community walks have significantly reduced over the period. What period is that? Like 2024. But I know that the federal government, right? I'm not disproving this particular comment by Mr. Chigozie, but about 2 decades ago, in fact, as far back as when President Olusegun Obasanjo was in power, there were extensive PSAs, blood drives, sensitizations, and yes, these things have to continuously come through. But this is my question, right? From time immemorial, particularly when it comes to this conversation of HIV/AIDS, the discourse has always been either you abstain or you carry out safety measures for yourselves. Now, how do you contract HIV? Primarily through blood. So it's not just through sexual contact, but sexual congress, is a very common way. But those of you who like to clip your nails on the streets randomly, even those of you who go to those salons, I say you want to do mani and pedi, come clip my leg. You can get it that way. Now, of all of these, ways and means people get contract HIV, there is still one that bothers a lot of people. And maybe that's why it's prevalent here in River State with people living with HIV. And that is sexual, discretions. A lot of you would lie when you get to the hospital when you are going to see your doctor. No, don't do that. Then when they now bring the test, doctor, it's like there was a time when I'm not sure I took correct precaution. My question this morning, after years of talking and arguing, after some of you have probably gone to pillar and post and whatnot, why do some people still engage in high-risk behavior? It's kind of like how we tell people, please don't go near petrol tankers when they tip over. Initially, some Nigerians were not paying attention, but now I'm very pleased to say this, that at least here in Port Harcourt, the last 2 times a truck tipped over, we didn't hear that people went to scoop fuel. People have learned you don't want to get burned. But when it comes to this kerewa that people will do on Friday now, very soon, till maybe on Sunday, you people don't used to hear word. Maka, why?
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeriainfo FM. Nigeriainfo, let's talk.
With Jude on 92.3 Nigeriainfo.
017-923-0002, 017-923-0003, 017-923-0002, 017-923-0003. All right, at Nigeriainfo PH, at Nigeriainfo PH is where you will find out that we live on Facebook and on X. Yes, that's where you find us. That's our page. WhatsApp is 08090306416, 08090306416. Please, as always, turn down the volume of your radio set when you're calling, and don't call. The last number I just reeled out is the WhatsApp number. Please indulge me. I'd like to repeat. The WhatsApp number is 0809 030 6416, 0809 030, I beg your pardon, 6416. And straight here on my phone, someone says that you, good morning. See, people don't like to listen. We have heard several times, even when you go to the hospital for a normal thing, they still tell them, yet people will not do the right thing. Why? When we come back.
Nigeriainfo will be right back.
If person ask you say
seconds, bottom of the hour. We're going back to the phone lines now, and I'll be reading your messages. All right, now if you just join us, we're talking about challenges of HIV in Nigeria. Now, if you didn't know, something happened at the start of the year, and that had to do with the pause on aid from America. The WHO complained. A lot of rights groups will say, look, if America stops this, there are a lot of health challenges that will happen. People who ordinarily would be getting some of these medications, who will be getting some of these drugs, because we call them antiretroviral drugs, they will not get it. And also young people, they come through every day. Somebody's in year one right now who's probably listening. Maybe he or she doesn't know, the level at which, protection that they would need. So we need to sensitize people. Now, the state coordinator of the network of people living with HIV in Nigeria, Nefwin, Blessing Chigozie, raised concerns that despite ongoing interventions, limited resources have slowed down community level awareness. Now, all of this comes as the 2004 HIV prevalence in states, that's Nigerian states, showed that Rivers State has the highest number of people living with HIV, that is living with the virus. Let's take a listen to what she said now. Shall we? I think I have it somewhere. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
This is like 2 months that now that Trump declared withdrawal and all that, in as much as he's able to reverse some certain things and everything is working per se. We always do what is called community work, sensitization and awareness. So for these past few months, we've not been really doing actually the community work per se. We focus on those who are on treatment and ensure that people who are already in care have retention, in as much as we don't have discretion in treatment. So probably if there are risk behavior over there in the community, maybe because people did not hear, more awareness is not created for this period of 2 months and all that. Thereabout, it might be a fueling situation for such issues.
So maybe they did not hear. But the point is, the fact that we have a high number speaks to what might not be or what might be going on in Port Harcourt. There are a lot of people, well, I won't say, but the highest number of people living with HIV in Nigeria reside in Rivers State. The question is, what are you doing about it? Why are some people still engaging in risky behavior? They touch us. It has touched some people.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeriainfo FM. Nigeriainfo, let's talk.
Hello, Port Harcourt. With Jude on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, 017-923-0002, 0817923-0007, 0817923-0002, 0817923-0007. At Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. 92.3, good morning. Welcome.
Hello, Jude, good morning.
Good morning to you. Welcome, please.
Wow, Jude. I wonder why Rivers State should have the highest number of people living with HIV. Why not Lagos? Lagos is far more populated.
Wait. It's not just about population. It's about the number of people within that population who have the virus. That's why the prevalence is not that more people are here or they are there. No, it's that if there are 10 people in Port Harcourt, of those 10 people, maybe 2 are living with it. If there are 200 people in Lagos, only 5 are living with it. So it's a prevalence percentage.
Okay, now I understand. Man, Jude, how do we deal with this? Yeah, just like you said, there's so many sensitization programs going on. Some persons take the pain, some NGOs take the pain to go to schools, secondary schools. It may shock you, Jude, that most times it's mostly the teen population. Trust me. Yeah, those are the crews, they groove, and they're just carefree. Do whatever they like. Anyhow, which way now. So that's the slogan. But people take the pain to try at least to go to secondary schools, especially to do this sensitization. And they try to give them this CDs and the likes and other preventive tips, educate them, but they don't take it.
But
So,
that's but hold on. But that's the worry. You see what you just said now. Hello.
Police, these are security officials. They take time to even go to stop them. Say, okay, now it's a crime. At the time they say nobody should. They chase them, they arrest them, but yet it's still going on. For me, Jude, I think what my own little suggestion should be that maybe the testing, as in the kits can be just at the pharmacies, all those places, and if you do have it, maybe they will do a way they can report maybe to a particular group, or maybe set up something, because okay, this person has done tests and they are. And then try to get it. It's not as if you want to evacuate or take the person out of the state, but maybe look for ways, something enticing. That when you come, you'll be you to be kept secret, and so a sentence will be given to you. So look for a way instead of spreading it around. So just look for a way to entice them and bring them close. So when you bring them close, and then you still give them this incentive, but you know how to maybe advise. And I try to restrain and give them to stay and concentrate from spreading it around to prevent them from doing it. Maybe otherwise, it's a free world too. That's what the Gen Z say. It's a free world. They can do whatever they like.
All right, thank you very much.
Honestly.
Well, thank you. So it's a free world. They can do whatever they like, but whatever they like apparently has consequences. And the consequences, one way that I guess, transmitted, the effect, gets to be felt by those close to them and those who are probably not even in their space. Now, like I said earlier on, I'm not trying to rain on anybody's parade, right? Because I know that by 5:30 or so, some of you now start to go and get your guest houses ready. There's a party, we want you guys to have a good time on Friday. But even with the good times planned, a lot of people think the risky behavior is multiple sexual partners. But one of the worst is those people who are making use of illicit drugs, particularly those people who are injecting them. Syringes, it's a big problem. So it might not be that it's sexual, gratification, but also those who, I don't know, is it really a case of they're not being sensitized? People have been caught, ladies and gentlemen, stealing used syringes in this Port Harcourt. That I know for a certainty. People have been caught. People have been seen, reusing the disposables that they ought to have thrown away, multiple times. That's a risk factor. That's risky behavior. And I'm very sure they've heard of it before. I'm very sure they have. Or they haven't. Maybe they're new. Maybe. Zion is on the line from GRA. Zion, good morning to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. The statistics that have been given, the one of those who are carriers of the infection, of the virus, right? What about those at the risk of carrying or contacting the virus? In Rivers State here, something that is so common is sexual escapade. I've never seen a generation where the people are so loose that the girl might just be passing, just call her, come, this is what I want. She will tell you where your house. Let's go. You will see a guy, because of his so idle, he will be walking on the street and just see a random girl. The truth is, when you have a government that cannot think, you have a people who will fall a bit. If you say, what is the solution? Let's tell ourselves the truth. The large majority of those carriers are from sexual escapade. Some few years back, we hosted the youth program, and of course, HIV test should be one of them. Jude, The first 25 people that run the test, about 9 of them are already infected. These are not old people. These are youths between the ages of 18
and above
and 30. Now, imagine the spread. Now, we now feel relaxed because United Nations told us they now have a drugs or a cure for it.
Yeah, ARVs.
And our sensitization stopped.
You think it has stopped?
It stopped, yes, sensitization stopped. I know there was a time I also have a discourse with the director of the HIV, who contact HIV at my one. They have a central office there in my one. I have a discussions with her. My brother, some of us don't spend money for this country.
Okay, so Zion, Fred is on the line. So let me ask you. Despite all of these sensitizations, they've told people, don't be sharing needles, don't go and steal needles, don't go and do kerewa with somebody you don't know anyhow. Why are people still doing these things?
Do they have test centers? From Abaro, from Oyi to Eleme Junction, now you will not see one test center for HIV. You will not see not one. But you will see over 30 shots, over 100 shots from Eleme Junction to back. What is wrong with us here? Our youth of today are very careless. Our young people today are very careless. So we have to prepare for them.
Okay, Zion says the youths are careless. Fred, do you agree that the youths are careless?
Hello, Jude.
Fred, do you agree? Good morning. Do you agree that the youths are careless? The last caller says the youths are careless.
I do not agree that the youths are careless. What I would rather say is that times are changing. And I think there are different ways of sensitization that should be explored. There's an ancient China proverb that says, what I repeatedly do, what you practice, you get better at it. So if we cannot be sensitizing them, giving them information regularly, then we should create a system where they will be continually reminded. Years ago, I created a board game to teach about HIV. A lot of people counseled against it, that it wouldn't work. We are not in America and things. But if they had a way to go through all these things that happen, as in virtually, like, okay, this is what you do, and you get to this point. This is what you do, and you get to this point. And it's something entertaining, something that it won't be boring. Naturally, it's a very boring topic.
Okay.
Yes, a very, very boring topic. No child or no adult will want to listen to you schooling him on sex. It's very, very boring. And moreover, it's a very stigmatizing topic. So when you gather people to talk about it, it's usually, I don't want to be among this fold, before they will say,
you have it.
I'm a positive person, or,
Yeah.
So what I would really advise is, we have games like Ludo. Ludo, when they play Ludo, the opponents are about killing the other opponents. They are pushing out about It's exciting that while they are playing, they are learning. That's the only way they will be able to learn something nice like this. Then they have a central system where we have a central sterilizing system where every institution or every salon or manicure and pedicurist they all use a particular, regardless of orders they might have, they use a particular government approved sterilizers. I think that will really help if the government really want to help. Teach them through learning, through play. I think they will learn faster that way.
All right, Fred. Fred, thank you.
Are not careless. It's just the times.
It's the times. All right, Fred. Very well said. Fred said, people are not careless. The young ones are not careless. It's just the times. We need to be more creative with our sensitization programs. WhatsApp 080903064160 080903064160. Now, sometimes I wonder how these statistics are being carried out. Now, a lot of these stats, by the way, this is from Clef Rodriguez. I know this because a friend of mine, a doctor, was directly involved, was not heavily involved, in the sensitization about a decade ago. All right, so they created special centers. They were not marked. People didn't know what's going on in those places. And so when you come to the hospital, particularly when you come to the tertiary hospital, and then they find out, they now carry them aside. They try to give them privacy, try to protect them from stigmatization. And obviously, all these things have to be documented. So, Austin, that's one of the ways, if not the major way, that this stats are being obtained. When people come to the hospital and they do tests, we do tests. That's why you're encouraged to do your test regularly. If you refuse to use prophylaxis, try and protect yourself, or reduce your sexual partners to very, very low numbers, if not just one, or abstain entirely, well, it will be good for you to check very regularly. Don't assume. The fact that you're good looking doesn't mean that, something's not wrong underneath. Now, anyways, some people will still engage in risky behavior, even if you give them sex education. I guess we should include self-control to sex education. It will help. Clef Austin Rodriguez. Now, Melody Uniport says, now on the, this is a political concern. I think, Melody, I think you were trying to make a comment to Andrew. I think during Andrew's show. Okay, apologies. Service provider challenges, Melody. Now, Jude, I am not surprised because today you see so many youths engaging in every sort of nefarious and detestable practices that God hates. Oh, God hates. Okay. Anyway, now, in order to do or refrain from doing something, you have to have a strong why. Now, some people's poverty is a stronger why than any government or safety notices or even seeing others' experiences. But if they think I can make money some way or the other that's safer, they will refrain from scooping raw petroleum products when tankers fall. When it comes to indiscriminate sex or drug use, the reason to abstain or even be careful aren't as strong as some other factors. Some people are bored, some are poor, some are curious, some are reckless. And in a country like Nigeria, where people, especially youngsters, see that real life doesn't always add up to some of the sermons that they were given, some don't even have a strong enough reason to stay away. Example, when I was growing up, we were told if you go to school, don't do drugs, don't have sex before marriage, life will be kind to you or God will reward you. But we see examples every day that that's not always how life turns out. We have seen school dropouts do well. We see celebrities who are clearly on drugs, yet they are loved and nobody's arresting them. We have seen girls that did multiple abortions while in secondary school or have had sex on reality television become rich and famous, etc. So some people are delusioned and are like, you only live once. Anonymous. That's a very interesting take on this conversation. There's no, the deterrent is no longer, if you get HIV, you would die. The fear is, what if I don't have a good life? Look at this person who's doing this. The person is having a time of his or her life. Why should I deprive myself of a good time because I'm afraid I might get something that is not very common? Now, this person is asking, can HIV be transmitted through mosquito bites? Well, I am no doctor, but let me just quickly read this, all right? Here it is. No. This is from my Google search. I just typed it in. No. HIV cannot be transmitted through mosquito bites. Mosquitoes are not able to carry or transmit HIV, and they do not inject the blood of the last person that they bit when they bite again. HIV is transmitted through direct contact with certain bodily fluids such as blood, semen, vaginal fluids, breast milk, and rectal fluids. I guess you understand what that means, right? Rectal fluids. Hello, people. Be very careful. 9.3, good morning, please.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I want my music not to push it and push it out.
Could you send? Wait, hold on, good sir. Could you send us a message on WhatsApp, please?
Okay.
Do you have the WhatsApp number?
No, sir.
Can I call it out for you, please?
Okay, sir.
Okay, all right. 0809 809 okay 030 6416.
6416. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right. Thank you very much. Now, Jude, just to correct the sentiment you and Zion shared, antiretroviral drugs do not cure HIV. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. They don't cure. They are used to slow down the progress of the virus. That's from Omar. Omar, thank you very much. Yes, they don't cure, right? It's more like a treatment cocktail, if I can say so that, you don't get to have the long-term effects. So that's what you should do. Now, to the young man who just called, I think he's a young man, send a message to the WhatsApp number, all right? Hopefully we'll help you out. I think I heard something about music. All right, so now this person is asking, my question is, does HIV really exist? Is there anything like HIV? I don't believe there's HIV. I stand to be corrected. What is the exact cause of HIV? This was just a scam from the American and Chinese government to reduce sex. There's nothing like HIV. God day, Teme. Please, can somebody call me and help me answer God day? I think I'm out of my depth here. Let me read this message again. I kid you not, it's staring at me right now. Is there anything like HIV? I don't believe there is HIV. I stand to be corrected, which is a good sign. What is the exact cause of HIV? This was just a scam from the American and Chinese government to reduce sex. There is nothing like HIV. Teme says. I honestly don't know how to respond to this right now. I honestly don't know how to respond to this right now. Somebody's asking, good morning. See, how do you know you're HIV positive? Like, what are the symptoms? There are several symptoms. But just going for a blood test is conclusive. If you feel off or sometimes just go to the doctors and say you want to do a blood test. All right. 90.3, good morning.
Hello, Judy.
Good morning.
My name is Tompolo from DJ.
Welcome, Tompolo.
See, HIV, AIDS, the problem is that we are not careless. Somebody says the times. Yes, I believe it's the times. We use smartphones. Some of these apps become with ads. I think these ads sometimes to incorporate all these messages, information to enlighten people, youth. Because the youth now, they are going smart, but they are not getting smart.
Okay.
About the information of HIV and AIDS. So I think adverts should be included in some of these apps, in some of these games we play, so that it will enlighten them. But the person asking if AIDS is real, of course, it's a blood transmitted disease. So you should sometimes do checks, do some tests, and those tests should be done free. So really let me have time something and do those checks. find out that they're expensive. So if somebody like me, Tompolo, I don't have the money to go and do a blood test, I will just be reluctant
to go and check. Well, Tompolo, thank you. You raised a very good question, point, and that is, accessibility to information and also to management. But anyway, thank you very much. We're back after this break.
For more talk, news and sports, stay tuned to Nigeria Info.
We'll be right back after this.
Well, you asked for it.
And news